My name is Harry Fox, and 4 months ago I worked in international asset management. I'm going to tell you what happened when the company lost 14 billion overnight and we all lost our jobs.
When I was watching this film, it reminded me of that great Groucho Marx quote, "Those are my principles, and if you don't like them, I have others." Do you think that's a fair representation of your characters?
Well, it's interesting because on one level, I don't think the film overly explores sort of the ethical implications, for example, of my character, or indeed for John's character, Vernon, in terms of what actually happens. It doesn't delve too much into that background sort of psychological stuff, which I find interesting. But the sort of activities that we get up to during the course of the film are obviously somewhat dubious, potentially questionable,
Yeah, I don't think there are any ethical implications for Vernon at all. He just sees it as, he's incredibly cold about it and calculated about it, and it is a business, and he's worked out all the maths. I honestly don't think emotion creeps into Vernon's life that much.
For us, opportunities were going to be limited.
I've got a really exciting business opportunity to tell you about.
So which do you think is the most despicable character, your own or each other's?
Both are acting out of an own personal sense of necessity. Not to say that excuses what goes down, but what drives each individual character is sort of a very sort of basic kind of personal motivation, or maybe I'm just trying to excuse very terrible things that go on.
One thing I will say about the difference between Vernon and Harry is that Harry's really successful, financially successful, and he's got a really nice car and a really nice flat and everything. He's basically a high roller, and all he wants is to not take a step backwards.
Is to maintain that state.
He's not willing to move into a smaller flat or have no car and get the bus around. He wants to maintain the high standards of his life.
He has been gotten so used to a higher state of living. It's that which he doesn't want to sacrifice.
Yeah.
Which is sort of a kind of a greed instinct, I suppose, more than anything else.
One person empties the bank account and sells any expensive stuff they may have. Another person does the same. Everything you own translated into cash and put into a green sports bag. They dig a grave and fight to the death. The winner buries the loser, walks home with 2 bags of cash, double your money. Called it trading.
When you peeled away the layers of this very black onion, what do you think is their primary motivation? You think it's greed with Harry?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say greed. I'd just say maintenance of a lifestyle that I've sort of become used to and that I enjoy. So it's that idea of, if you identify yourself with the things that you put around you, when they start getting stripped away, you become a lot more precious about those elements, like the apartment and the car and money and these kinds of things.
You're all business, aren't you? Just like the last fella.
And it's never fully explained why, but Harry's need to maintain that, which is his sole concern, really, and that's where all the activities actually... Because, in fairness in the film, I do very strongly reject your suggestion, even to the final point of when we do come to trade as such.
Don't tell me, Vernon, you didn't put this all on the website.
Yes, but everything's online now.
So this is your new business? Murder.
Mr. Fox, I've noticed that you're now earning less than your monthly mortgage repayments.
How much would your life be worth in hard cash? What are you worth?
Don't kill me. Take the money.
Vernon's motivation is quite a strange one because he's been forced to move back in with his parents. But I think
never ideal.
That'll set anyone off.
Never ideal. but you know, I looking at the way Vernon is with his mother, especially, I don't think he minds that much. I think he was actually quite scared of independence.
I've worked out, right, that I need 2.6 million to live for the rest of my life. And that's giving me just above average male life expectancy. I mean, educated people do tend to have an above average life expectancy.
He's in suspended animation. He's not developed properly. And he still lives in this very insular world. The only thing Vernon wants to be successful for is to prove people wrong.
Am I gonna die?
And a knife wound can be one of the worst ways to die.
What have you gone and invented?
You're all business, aren't you, Mr. Trader?
You've both got big shows under your belt with Love, Hate and Game of Thrones. Were there any funny encounters with members of the public on the street when you were filming Traders?
There were, Killian.
Let's not beat around the bush here. Okay.
Please elaborate.
I don't remember any specific incidents. I mean, like, because most of our stuff, in fairness, was inside. So whatever you'd get would be very much a separate thing. But the thing I do have is that whenever I'm filming something in Dublin, no matter how I'm dressed, everyone always goes, "Is that Love, Hate?"
Yeah.
Even if it's just so clearly not. You know,
it was strange.
Even Ripper Street,
No,
you know,
that's
Victorian
true.
costume. It's Ripper Street or Love, Hate's taken a strange turn.
But the thing that always surprised me about when Killian was recognised in public was the children.
I know. Yeah,
It's really like unsettling.
Yeah,
like 7 and 8 year old children talking about Love, Hate.
It was this weird. It sort of covered this very odd demographic of like from, you know, young kids in flats in town to sort of Supreme Court judges.
So did you get any kids coming up to you about Game of Thrones?
No, well, I didn't have my beard. And I didn't get recognised, which I was furious about. No. It was
I'd carry around copies of his headshot and just sort of hand them out.
Yeah, no. It's amazing the difference that having no beard, especially to me. I suit a beard. The problem with me and no beard is I've got too much. My head is too big for my face. You know what I mean? You'll see it. You'll see it on in the film. So I
it's captured on
I kind of need a beard to just kind of flatten things off a bit.
You do grow a very excellent beard, I have to say.
Thanks a lot.
This is about as good as mine gets, actually. This is a few
I'd be
weeks.
with you on that.
Yeah.
So I kind of
Very
escaped it.
emasculating.
I just had these visions of someone going home and going, there's going to be some crossover between Love, Hate and Game of Thrones.
What an odd show that would be. I'd watch it.
Well, I mean, similar motivations.
Similar motivations.
I never want to see the inside of a public toilet again after watching this film, so I can't imagine how the two of you feel.
That's probably in your interest, Harry, ultimately.
It's going to take a lot to get me away from public toilets, to be fair. I'm such a fan.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money in this. It's illegal. And it's dangerous.
If you can't do this, don't! It wasn't supposed to go like this!
Yeah, well, it did.